A United States Supreme Court ruling is impacting cities across the country with people who live on the streets. The justices ruled cities, including Wilmington, can make it illegal for homeless people to sleep outside.
Now, it's a controversial ruling that has leaders in our community split. WECT's Emma Dollenmayer spoke to folks with the Good Shepherd Center, a homeless shelter in our community. Emma, they say making sleeping in the streets a crime is not going to fix the issue.
That's right, Fran. Caitlin Maddox with the Good Shepherd Center says punishing homeless people for sleeping in the streets hurts them more than it helps.
The Supreme Court ruled on Friday that cities can now fine, ticket, and even arrest homeless people sleeping on the streets. The ruling now affecting cities nationwide, including Wilmington. Caitlin Maddox with the Good Shepherd Center says the ruling will ultimately do more harm than good.
In best practices, any punitive approach to homelessness is not going to be as successful as providing additional support services.
Maddox says more affordable and permanent housing are services that can provide that long-term solution to the homelessness crisis.
We recognize that by creating a ban like that, it is an opportunity for our community to rise up and continue to promote additional opportunities for affordable housing.
Wilmington City Council member Celeste Andrews agrees.
We're moving forward. We're addressing this, and I don't think there's any reason to put people in jail. It's very, very expensive to house people in jails and hospitals versus putting them into a permanent bed.
Fellow council member Luke Waddell has a different approach in mind. Just last month, Councilman Waddell brought forward an ordinance to prohibit public camping. That ordinance was voted down. Now he is asking the city attorney whether it would be constitutional for the city to approve a public camping ordinance which would prohibit people from camping on public property. He says, quote, "I look forward to receiving the response from our city attorney and hope the rest of the council will join me in prioritizing public safety in Wilmington," end quote. But it's clear at least one council member will not be joining that initiative.
I think we need to use the tools that we already have at our disposal to solve the homelessness problem and not criminalize it.
The only other council member who shared their view with me was Charlie Rivenbark. He says he will support Waddell's public camping ordinance if brought forward again. Councilman Waddell tells me council will hopefully have a response from the city attorney by the end of this week. Fran?
All right, thanks so much.